Welcome to another episode of GlideChat. My name is Mike Lombardo, sitting here with John Griffin, a.k.a. Griff.
Yep.
Director of New England Commercial at ServiceNow. What's up, Griff?
Great to be here.
So how long have you been at ServiceNow? 3 years?
3 years.
3 years. Yeah. It just feels like your territory is very much more organized. You know everything that's going on. I think your reps are like, you have a military background? No. Okay. Yeah. You're very organized.
Well, Irish Catholic family. My dad was one of 7.
Yeah.
It's just the way I was raised. I was raised, you have to have purpose in everything you do.
Yeah.
And when you show up, you better put up.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have a great team that we have built around us and are able to take and build upon the great foundation that Hanny and Al and Augusta put into our great customers.
It's like generations to this team. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. This is, I mean, like ServiceNow obviously was started on the West, but there's so much that was like so much leadership and so much like the first accounts were like really built here. There's so much history in the,
We're really lucky in just Boston proper to have just foundational customers that have been with us for a long time, and we struggle at times like, oh, we want to go after net new prospects, and they're important, but it's always important to make sure we take care of those key customers of ours that were first adopters.
Yeah, I was one of them. One of them.
Amen.
Boston Medical Center.
Thank you for your business.
No problem. Anytime. Yeah, it changed my life. Changed my life. I was like, what's this ServiceNow thing? Where were you before ServiceNow? EMC?
I was at EMC for about 14 years.
Wow. Yeah. What brought you to ServiceNow besides Hanny?
So I worked with Hanny and
Did
Crop.
You? Yeah. Okay. I didn't even know. Oh yeah, Crop too. Yeah.
A lot of guys for a long time. Wow. And people had always said ServiceNow. I remember sitting down with one of the old leaders in Hartford because I was in Hartford for a long time, and 2013, 2014. I'm saying ticketing. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep selling stories.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get it. We're transforming. And I hadn't had my eyes opened.
Yeah.
And when Dell bought EMC, we had a lot of transitions.
Yeah.
And I stayed because I kept on being given great opportunities, and I had great leaders to work for. And Dell's a terrific place to work.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where, hey, I want to go do something new. I want to try something.
Yeah.
And I'd stay in touch with Hanny and over the years as a mentor, and I just kept on hearing this buzz about ServiceNow, and it's more than just ticketing; it's workflow. And one thing led to another, and Al and I met, and we've had a great 3-year run so far, and looking forward to the next 10. What I'll say about Al is a phenomenal human being.
Yeah,
literally day one, beginning of Q4, middle of the pandemic, I get in and I get all these shark camps and all these different Zooms. Knock on the door. There's 24 white roses at my door from Al Holland to my wife. So, honest to God,
wow.
my wife's blown away. My wife's been now Dell at EMC for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Who is this Al guy?
Yeah.
Al's a phenomenal person. You couldn't find somebody better to have your back.
Wait, so why did he send roses to your wife?
Just to make sure that she knew she was part of the ServiceNow family.
Wow. So you came to ServiceNow. What is so special about ServiceNow? Like, why are our customers obsessed with it? Why are developers obsessed with it? In your opinion, you see it all the time. Like, why are you? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's a couple different things. Yeah. Our culture, hungry and humble.
Yeah,
you hear Bill talk about it all the time. From everybody in leadership, we're lucky to have Kevin Haverty and Tom Hannigan, and Al and Chris Irvin here in the office. But no matter what office you walk into, whether it's in D.C. or in Florida or Santa Clara, it's just true. And our customers appreciate the fact that we're not afraid to go the extra mile for them and put them first. And we always talk, like a lot of companies do, put your customer first, put your company second, put your team third, and put yourself last. And that truly is what's great about ServiceNow, because we don't just talk about it, we actually do it.
Yeah.
And the customers just love the fact that they can have one platform. I had that customer this morning.
Yeah.
He said, you keep doing right by me, and our competitors who we won't talk about.
Yeah.
They keep trying to get more and more, and you see the long-term vision.
Yeah, that's key.
And my response is, you guys see the long-term vision, and you see it because you know all the things you can do with our platform. It's just about our teams making sure that it's consumable, and we're going to meet you where you are and make it so that it's a good journey throughout the process.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and because for me, the technical side says the platform's so amazing, the one platform for all these different processes, and how able you're to quickly, roll out new process, new solutions, new workflows. But, service, as ambitious as ServiceNow, the company is to hit their, 16 billion goal plus 15, whatever it is. they've done a really good job at not like being too greedy with customers, right? Yeah. Like not too pushy. You know, it's like it's really is based like solution based sales and not target based sales. You know,
focus on the outcome first,
and
then work backwards.
Exactly.
And yeah, there are often times where we have difficult conversations with customers, our licensing model, like and what we have to do to make sure we can continue investing. But if we always go back to putting the customer first and understanding what they're looking to accomplish. I saw this great quote. I wish I remember who put it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I should be giving them credit. I keep using it. Yeah. Our teams, your team, my team, all of ServiceNow needs to know our customers well enough to get hired by them.
Yeah.
So when you're bringing a proposal or you're bringing a solution, can you talk directly about how it's helping either drive more revenue, take out cost and complexity, or keep them out of jail by reducing risk?
I know. I was talking to this person. His company's a little smaller. They're struggling with like either Jira or ServiceNow and stuff. And he goes, somebody just got onboarded. And they came from a company that had full ServiceNow onboarding, you know, a package arrived at the door with their computer, with their mouse and everything. And everything was just so streamlined. And they're like, you know, they said they got this feeling that like, wow, this company has it together. And he's like, then they came to our company. We don't have ServiceNow onboarding. It was a mess. It goes, you know, a form, you have this Microsoft form filled out, goes to somebody's inbox, and it could sit there, and you know it's just a slow process, and there's a lot of manual follow up, and the employee that got hired was just like, is everything okay here? Like, am I safe? You know, that morale, and that even if it's chaos behind the scenes, right? Just that appearance of a smooth onboarding, and we hear it all the time with our employees, like, you know. Everything's done in ServiceNow. They pick what kind of laptop they want in ServiceNow, and they know it's ServiceNow, so that gets them even more excited. And it's just such a streamlined process. It's just like, why wouldn't you want your employees that you're spending all this money on, that are driving revenue, that are driving efficiency, that are driving operations? Don't you want them feeling like you're the greatest company in the whole world? Like,
it's about the experience.
Oh man,
it's about the thought leadership that these companies who have truly adopted ServiceNow and like where they're going, and the conversations we're having with customers about what they're going to do with AI.
Oh, that's a whole different game.
And it's just about the art of the possible.
Yeah.
But it's not that far away. And so they're going to be able to incorporate it and get that benefit really quickly. But like the onboarding experience, I have a bunch of friends, and it always comes back to work, right? Yeah. Where, you know, you're out to dinner or whatnot, and I'm a ServiceNow customer. We're not a ServiceNow customer. Yeah. Oh, actually, we are a ServiceNow customer. We didn't know we were a ServiceNow customer.
Yeah, we're not using it the right way.
Or it's so good. I didn't know that was ServiceNow. Yes. And I'm like, I told you.
Yeah.
And I was having dinner with 2 weeks ago with one of my good friends, and he works at one of the big asset managers in Boston. And he said, I didn't know that was ServiceNow. I'm like, see? Yep. That's the testimonial we need.
Yeah, exactly. That's like just smooth.
Yeah.
Just smooth. Man, AI is going to be like, you guys are just going to be like kid in a candy store. Just fast. Like this, I think I saw in Bill McDermott's earnings call, there's going to be $3 trillion, not on just on ServiceNow, but on AI solutions in the next 3 years. Like organizations are going to spend over $3 trillion on bringing in AI solutions to various products. I mean,
I think customers are trying to figure out which one's right. And it's probably that there's multiple different solutions, whether it's ServiceNow or Microsoft or just
both
right together, right?
Yeah.
And the things we're hearing from customers, and I had lunch with one of our joint customers, and he said, the best part about what you showed me with Gen AI and what ServiceNow is doing is it was tailored to my industry. You knew exactly how to talk to my business. Yeah. If we get that part right, we have first mover advantage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we rolled out our first AI product thanks. And everyone is thinking like, you know, for partners, especially like, writing code, and you know, we're having it help with clerical stuff. Yeah. Like for workshops, taking the raw notes, putting that in story form, getting acceptance criteria. You know how much customers struggle with like the acceptance criteria, setting up UAT sessions, you know.
The benefits are going to far outweigh the concerns.
Oh my God. It's
going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be like that's what I'm saying. Like, your team and ServiceNow as a whole is just going to be like, okay, we want it. If you're an organization, it's like everything else. Like, do you really want to get left behind? If your employees and customers can just come to a ServiceNow service portal and just immediately type in, I need to order a new laptop or anything. How do I do this? How do I do that? And it's just better than a human immediately responding, immediately getting what you want, and you go back onto your day. I mean, how do you not embrace that? No matter how much it costs.
Outside of ServiceNow, I mean, just think of the changes it's going to have in general life.
I know.
How do I fix my slice? How do I stop hooking the ball, right?
Yeah. So when I see you, when I see Al, I see great leaders. And people always ask me, who's been your mentor and who's this? I feel like I really haven't had like direct mentors, but I watch people like you, people like Al, Hanny, like some of my other bosses that I've had, and I see how they interact with their team, good and bad. Like, some things that I'm like, that's not how I would do it, and, take note of that. What is good leadership to you in your eyes?
There's no crystal ball.
Yeah,
I think it's
silver bullet.
It's innate, and I think it starts with a willingness to want to help.
Yeah,
and I often talk about either individual contributors or in my world reps who want to go lead, and I said, well, why do you want to lead? And I said, well, I want to be the guy in charge. I said, okay, don't come to this job.
Yeah, I know that's not there.
I think the leaders are the ones who are willing to roll up their sleeves, to put their ego aside, and then genuinely listen.
Yeah,
and that is key to it. 2 ears, one mouth. They're able to listen.
Yeah,
and I map out to my team, and I hope I do a great job of it. But my goals are, when somebody comes to work with me, that I can help them improve their skill set and become better at what they do, put them in a position to become more successful than they've been. And in sales, that's monetarily, but that's also, there's a lot of achievements that we have in sales that are outside of just money, right?
Yeah.
And then put them in a position to get promoted in the right time. And I think that comes, you got to be selfless, and then you need to have like a good foundation of what you do. I talk a lot about the 6 A's when I interview people and when I bring people on, and it's characteristics I look for to build teams. It's all about having self-awareness. I know it's not that
6 A's.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Activity, attitude, acumen, adaptability, accountability. Okay. Right. So accountability, do you do the right things when no one's watching?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
And when we count on Mike to make sure he gets the job done. Yeah, of course. Attitude. Like, I think of James Perriott, right?
Yeah.
Happy.
Love him.
Humble.
Love him.
Always there
positive.
to help somebody.
Always positive.
Always positive. Do you want to have a cup of coffee with somebody after work, or meet them for a beer? Because if I want to meet with you, your customer's going to want to be your prospects, right? So are you a glass half full or glass half empty person? Yeah. Activity, like, do you have that pit in your stomach every single day?
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Yeah. And it's not just about the money. It's you have a desire to get better.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is like, it's not what I think of myself. It's what are my peers and my customers, the people around.
Surroundings.
Yeah. Perception's reality, right?
Yep.
Aptitude, like this is a complex platform. Although it's one code base, right? It's still can you handle complex situations, and can you go from talking to the CEO to the head of FP&A to the person who's doing the dishes and have a consistent conversation? Yeah. And then adaptability has been big in the last couple of years. Can you change?
Yeah.
And so I think, like, when I think of how do you go hire and how do you go build teams, that all starts with leadership, right? If a leader can not only demonstrate and live those traits, but they're innate, and then they listen, and then they put their teams first and roll up their sleeves, in there somewhere is a secret sauce.
100%. It's all based around positivity, right?
And grit.
Yeah. Oh, grit. Oh, I know that one.
Yeah, you do.
For me, I was fortunate where I've done a lot of the roles of, people I'm leading here and stuff. So I always just try to like be the leader that I wanted. You know what I mean? Like what would I want my boss to do in this situation? And I always just put myself back in their shoes and just know, like, I always just wanted to make people to appreciate, like, if I was up all night, sometimes just a thank you. You know, and it's like 600 people now. It's hard to keep.
You guys have grown so fast.
It's crazy. 600 people. It's hard to keep track of every single person.
Write it down, though.
I know.
I'm a big believer. And I tell people who have different leaders today.
Yeah.
write down the things you like and write down things you don't like.
Yeah.
Because of the ones you don't like, make sure you don't do those when you get privileged to lead people.
Yeah.
The ones you like, make them your own and double down on them.
Yeah.
And then always write, like, I'm a big believer, always have a pen and a piece of paper or your phone and thank the people who need to be thanked.
Exactly.
That don't get thanked.
That's one of my main things I tell my other leaders, please, if you see somebody doing something above and beyond and you see them working hard, you see a customer really happy, please tell me so I can thank them, because I can't see everything. And that's why you kind of have some of those layers, is so you can rely on other people to tell you like what needs to change or what, we need to double down on.
You never know when you're changing somebody's day or changing someone's week or changing someone's life.
Just a little thank you. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. Huge. Even for me. I
tell my son Jack, 5 years old, please and thank you will get you everywhere in life.
Yeah, it really does. I know you're big into golf. What else, like, kind of hobbies or anything like that?
I've got a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, Jack and Caroline.
You're
so
in it.
For me, can I find more time to have the right balance?
Yeah.
And it's all about perspective. Like, I've become very big. I lost my dad 11 years ago yesterday to cancer. Yeah. Don't be sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I lost mine too.
Dana Farber got him 3 more years than he was supposed to. So I try to put things in perspective, and we all get busy. Our jobs are all important. But at the end of the day, we're selling software and implementing software. So I for me, it's how do you find balance? And I'm trying to get better about making sure that I'm a more present husband and a more present father.
I'm working on that too.
Right? But I'm also trying to do it with my brothers too. So I'm a twin, which most people don't know.
I did not know that. Oh my God. What's his name?
His name's Matt. He lives in Lexington. His office.
Identical or?
Identical.
Dude, you should have him just show up to the office.
So here's the part. So his office, he works at Simpress.
Yeah.
Is on the 3rd floor of our building.
Up.
So we work in the same building.
Dude, stop it.
Right?
Have you done any pranks? Like,
no, I don't think since the 2nd grade.
Come on, dude. You got to do that.
We'll do it on a prospecting day or something.
That would be hilarious. Right? Wow. So you have a twin brother.
Twin brother, and then a brother, Steve, who's just like 13 months younger than us. So I'm like an Irish triplet.
That's insane. I always wondered what it was like to grow up as a twin, because that's just like, it's just weird.
There are often times we're on the same wavelength.
No way.
So my son Jack was born in December 20th at Brigham Women's.
Okay.
My nephew Charlie, Matt's son, was born December 21st.
Oh my gosh.
At Brigham Women's in the same operating room.
The same year too?
Same. Oh, 1 day.
One day apart.
We were in the hospital the same night.
Oh my God.
With the same delivery nurse.
Oh my God.
And so we were walking around. The next day. And
stop.
I bumped into the delivery nurse and she says, "It took me a good hour to figure out you weren't in here with 2 separate women."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the world works in mysterious ways.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. That gives you perspective too.
That is perspective. Yeah. All right. Well, I always like to leave. You gave a ton of advice on the leadership, but what's some advice maybe you could leave some people trying to maybe break into leadership from a sales role, or further their career, or even be a better sales rep? Like, what's some advice you could leave?
I think the first thing is don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Go find a true mentor. I've had a bunch from my career who were willing to tell me when I was doing things well, but more importantly, tell me when I was doing things poorly.
Yeah.
Those mentors are there to make sure you have guardrails. They can pull you aside and say, "Hey, like, I'm a very direct person. Like, you got to tone it down a little bit."
Yeah.
So find people who will help you, and then don't be afraid to lead from the front. Go find something that needs fixing.
Yeah.
And go be part of that. Go be part of the solution.
Yeah.
And then opportunity will come your way.
I love that. That's so true. I'm a head first, jump in there and fix it kind of guy.
People notice. You don't have to tell people what you're doing.
Yeah,
They'll
exactly.
Notice, right?
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah. Just surround yourself with great people. You'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining me on episode of GlideChat, Griff.
Love it.